I worked at the Ministry of Finance for about 20 years, being director of statistics for about maybe 15, most of those times. So I've done a lot of work. My most recent appointment at the ministry was head of the policy unit in the Ministry of Finance. But relating to statistics, I was the director when Grenada did the population census for the first time on its own. Right, prior to 1991, it used to be done as a regional project, and they would send people into Grenada for the Caribbean to do it. But in 1991, we told them, look, we are going to do it ourselves. So I was there when we did it for the first time, you know, and it was a good experience. Yeah, and this is why I came here to talk about it, because I think the information is so valuable to Grenada as we plan the way forward, and even for people themselves, because if the policymakers of or institutions, don't have to be government, if they don't have information, they can't make good decisions. Yeah, I'll give you a typical example. We look at the school population and the population in an area, and we have noticed that population shift based on the census. So everybody may have a school service in an area, they could merge that because of the population size to save money and so on. So information is so critical. And I think that in these times, especially after the pandemic, where there was a rearrangement of people, communities, and so I think this is the best time to do the census. So as we emerge out of the pandemic, we have a good sense of where we are, yeah, where the country is at, you know, so that you can plan properly to assist people and spend money right. Otherwise, you could find spending money where you shouldn't spend money. Yeah, so I think the pandemic is the best time to do the census. You get a good sense of people's social and economic condition, so they move forward. Not just for the government, but for any organization interested in people's welfare and people's development, that information is crucial, and not just Grenada and institutions in Grenada, but even the region. There are a lot of outside institutions that help us, yeah, in our development. Yeah, whether it's the Caribbean Development Bank, the IMF, the World Bank, all other institutions that are interested in people development, they are looking and waiting for this information, and they want good information. Yeah, so I'm saying that the bigger picture is important. So a household may find that why I have to answer this question. But if everybody answers the same question, then you get a picture of the situation in Grenada. But if two answer, if 100 answer and 5,000 doesn't answer, we nowhere. And there's so much money that the government has to spend to execute this project. We need value for money. So hence, I mean, and people should not be afraid of the information leaking, because from my experience, having been a director of statistics for over 10, 15 years, I can tell you, I can testify that there is no pressure from anybody to reveal confidential information. There is no pressure. If the government or any institution wants statistics, they don't ask for name. Yeah? That's a confidential secret. Yeah, and the way it is stored in a computer is not by name. We only use the name initially just in case there are little things one need clarifying, you know? But outside of that, once you enter into the computer system, there is no name. There is no name, so people should not worry about it. And there are certain people in society, I want to assume, that they would send relevant people to collect the information, you know? In my time, for example, if you had to interview the Governor General, you wouldn't send the director may do it himself, you know, because at that level, you want to show confidentiality and so on. And hence the reason why all the training, all right, so that interviewers understand what they are asking and why they are asking the question. So I just want to I know I'm saying a lot, but I just want to encourage the population to please cooperate and give truthful information to the interviewers. And I assure you that at the end of it, the country is better off. So you help us to help you. Yeah, you give us information and we in turn would help you. But additionally, I just want to make a note, just make some remarks on questions like your income. I know it's a question that people don't like to talk about. I mean, they will not be afraid to give the bank their income because they need a loan. All right? So you give it because you expect something. If you don't give your income, the bank can give you a loan. Then household assets, TV, refrigerator. Generally, we like to talk about poverty. The way you measure poverty sometimes is by looking at people's income. You earn less than a certain amount, say $500 a month, people say you are poor. Internationally, we tend to use an income benchmark to decide on poverty levels. But if you can't get the income, then the other route is to look at your assets and see what you have. Because as you know, if you're broke, you could always sell assets. If a wholesaler is in need of some money and they have valuable assets, they can sell it. Yeah? So the asset of the households, what they possess, it speaks to the level of income sustainability. So it's not just cash, it's what you have. So if we know the assets of every household, then the government have a better picture of the standard of living of the population. Yeah, and I'm sure the private sector is waiting on that information too, because if the private sector realize that people of a certain income bracket maybe don't have certain assets in the home, they could design promotions, yeah, targeting that target group for certain items, so they know where the demand is and where the supply is. Cell phone, right? We need to know everybody has cell phone now. So communication, media promotion and strategy, at least in our household have a mobile. Yeah, so you won't mail something to them, texting and messaging and so on. So even the private sector is waiting on this collective information so that they know how to design their business and they know how to plan going forward. Yeah, and they're not shooting in the dark. So everybody needs it, but we all need to provide it so it could add up. It's the entire population, and I think if people cooperate, subsequently you would see the benefit of that. You would see the benefit. You might hear the Ministry of Health coming around your village and say, look, we understand that this is a problem in the village because it was picked up in the census. Yeah? Sanitation, the cleanliness of the environment, all these things are picked up in a census. The ministry will look at it and say, hey, we have to do something there, yeah, before something happens. You understand what I'm saying? So the whole world is waiting at that information. The whole world is, and now is the best time, the best time to do it. But I just want to end by saying, it's a lot of questions. It's a lot of questions. It may take about an hour. So my advice to the household, if you don't have an hour and you have 30 minutes, give them 30 minutes and tell them come back for the next 30 minutes. Don't hide when they come back. Yeah? But at least, if you can't make an hour straight, you could do it in chunks. Yeah, but just to make sure you complete. And I think that we'll be able to get the job done. And these young people that are involved, I know they are anxious and they want to be part of a massive exercise. Yeah? So it's not mandatory in a sense, but we ask people to voluntarily contribute the information. And thank God we live in this world now. Because when the census first started in the days of the Bible, it was a law. Yeah? Even now, this census is a legal requirement. I know it's not really enforced, but it's a legal requirement that people should give the information and give it accurately and honestly. Yeah? So this is what I have to say. I just want to encourage everybody to participate. And if you realize that you have not been counted or interviewed, call the office and tell them my neighbor was interviewed and how come they didn't pass by me? Because every household has to be counted So if for some reason they're in the area and they didn't check you, call the office and complain, because you want to be in it. You want to be part of it. This is history. This is your legacy. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. And you can't tell your grandchildren that I participated in the census, you know? Be part of the legacy. Grenada.